All right, what's up, Zach? Good to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me, Justin. Excited to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be fun because we're going to get to talk about, gosh, all the cool travel experiences you've had, the travel hacks. In fact, the way you and I met was actually on an epic trip to Fiji. And what an amazing experience. We got a chance to, I didn't know you, I didn't know who you were before that. And one of my friends is like, oh, yeah, this guy's amazing. And so that's when I really first got to know you. And I was blown away by how many places in the world you've traveled to at such a young age.
Yeah, man, travel's my life, I think it's beautiful to just simply explore the world and create precious memories with your loved ones and people that you care about most. So, I've been to over 80 countries now. I just got back from Abu Dhabi just like a few hours ago. So, we were doing Ultra Music Festival and doing the marketing for the event. There's 20,000 people. So, yeah, I love traveling and going on adventures. So, hopefully we all get to meet up soon.
Oh, I love it. Well, we were supposed to record this yesterday, and you're like, "Hey, man, had to rearrange some flights." And I told you this is a tight window for me because I'm taking close to 3 weeks off, and it was funny because you're like, "Well, maybe we can record it here in business class," and I and I was like, "That's awesome. No one's ever done that before. Probably wouldn't turn out, but I just love that you're totally down to like make stuff happen."
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited beyond, it's a pleasure, it's an honor. You're a legend, so excited, man.
Well, let's get into some stuff. Well, first off, let's talk about Fiji because what an amazing place. So I had never been. It was high on my list. We were connected via our mutual friend Brad Weimert, and he put together kind of this really epic trip with just a small curated group of people. And I got to tell you, I was blown away. I was blown away about the activities that we did. I was blown away by just how amazing and happy and joyful the Fijian people are. I'm curious your thoughts on it being as traveled as you are.
Yeah, Fiji's like one of my favorite places in the world, and Brad and the crew, they put together an awesome event, right? Really top level, top quality people, entrepreneurs, and we had a lot of fun experiences. I think there's like a floating bar, and like we went island hopping, and we uh, drank what's that called? That I forget the local drink. Um,
Kava.
Kava, which is non-alcoholic drink, but just all natural and brings out all the good vibes and energy. And I think we had a dance party. I love the Fijian people, man. I can't wait to go back. Actually, I've since then I've been back once, and I spoke at another mastermind there. So, I love the water. I love the people. It's a great place.
That's awesome. You've been back since. I'm jealous. Yeah,
Yeah.
that bar is like out in the middle of the ocean. It's called Cloud Nine, and it literally just floats in the middle of this gorgeous ocean. And we had all kinds of like fun water toys. We had that I forget what you call it. It's like a bat wing thing that you're like under water, and it like whips you around. I mean, it was so cool. And one of the things, one of my favorites were their like speedboats, where these boats could literally glide at incredibly fast speeds. I mean, we're talking like, 90, 100 miles an hour on literally like inches, like an inch to 2 inches, even an inch and a half of water. I think they had said that even on 1 inch of water, these boats can just cruise, and their lakes are just windy, and or their rivers rather are just windy all over the place. It was such a cool experience.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure, and I love how it's so close to Australia and New Zealand. So after my most recent trip to Fiji, I went over there. So yeah, it's one of the best places in the world. So for any of you that haven't gone, I highly recommend going.
Oh, that's so cool. You've got me beat. It's not often that I find someone that's been to more countries than me. and I have a handful of friends that have been to, I mean, a ton. I've got a few that are in the hundreds, and I've got a couple that have been to all countries in the world,
Right.
which I'd like to
Yeah.
do. I'd like to get to all 193 recognized countries, and technically there are more than that, right? There are countries that you and I would recognize as a country that maybe the UN doesn't, but I want to explore the world. So I think I'm sitting at 76 or 77. You're at 80. We're going, one of our trips here is to go abroad, but it's to a country that I've already been to. So I'm not going to get to check anything off the list. But this summer, we are going to Iceland, and I have not yet been to Iceland. So we'll get to check that off the list. And then I think we're also going to be going to Portugal and Spain and a few other places. So it should be a lot of fun.
That's amazing. Yeah, and you just brought up a really good point. I have friends too that have been to like all 200 nations and things, but I think to me, like my style of travel is to go back to some of the same countries I've been to create like deeper, more genuine relationships with the people and my friends there. And every time I go back, I do learn something about myself or the people, or you know it's a really cool experience. And I just got back from Antarctica actually, so that was my
Nice.
big trip. So I hit the seventh continent thing. It was a funny trip actually. It was pretty fun. We went with Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band, so all of his crew and Mac McNally and all these famous country singers, and 16 I was partying on a yacht with 60 and 70 year olds. They have a lot of fun, but it was
That's
150 of
awesome.
us. And yeah, man, Iceland's going to be amazing as well, so I'm excited to see pictures from your trip.
I love it. You partying with some parrot heads. I'll tell you what, I have had some fun at some Jimmy Buffett concerts. I can tell you there's no one in the world that does a concert like him. And his following, like just the tailgate before the concert is like an event. Like people live for that. I mean, it is an experience. And I don't know what that looked like being on, a yacht. It was probably a little bit different, but probably just the same craziness. But
Yeah.
I used to love going to the Buffett shows because you'd hang out all day in the parking lot, wherever it is, until the show, and everyone's grilling food and everyone's sharing it, and it's just such a community vibe. I mean, it's just amazingly wonderful people.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So good crew, good people. So definitely a lot of fun. You'll have to go to another concert one of these days.
I love it. So, where did you get this desire to travel? So, I know your backstory. Not everyone knows your backstory. And I'd love for people to learn it. So, you were born in South Korea and were adopted by a family here in the U.S. And if memory serves me correctly, you moved to Des Moines, Iowa at a very young age, right?
Right, right. Good memory. Yes, so I was basically a baby, like 5 months old when I was adopted, and pretty much grew up in Iowa, lived in Iowa, went to high school, college there, lived there most of my life, and then I started traveling, right? So during my sophomore year, sophomore semester, I decided to study abroad in Spain. So Spanish was one of my majors, so I did a semester in Spain, and I think that's when I actually caught the travel bug. And the reason why I wanted to go over to Spain was, one, because yeah, I mean it's my major, and two, some of the world's best dance crews at that time were, in Spain, b-boys, breakdance. So I do that type of style of dance, and I went over there, and I met the local people, and I trained 4 hours a day, and I just really immersed myself into the culture, and got really good at breakdancing, got really good at Spanish, and then started traveling all over Europe. And since then, dance was actually the thing that took me around the world. So I basically set up these dance workshops and taught kids how to improve their performance as dancers, and did that for several years. So that's really kind of the backstory.
And that was your first business, right? You kind of created a dance company,
Yes.
and you yourself, I think, were like you were in like dance competitions, right? Weren't you featured in some of the big ones?
Yes, yes. So actually, I was a participant on this very famous TV show called So You Think You Can Dance. and now I think they're in their 20th season. I did, like season 8, 9, 10. I made it to the top 100 in the audition rounds, right, out of thousands and thousands of people. And so that kind of gave me like a little bit of, like just some street cred. So essentially what I did was I didn't win the show. So I wasn't good enough to like even make it the top 20, but the top 100 was pretty good. So what the producer was like said was like, Zach, you're awesome. Like you're great at breakdancing. You should take this all around the world and just teach it to, mom and pop studios in Iowa, Nebraska, the Midwest, and, all over the world that just, they'd probably like really enjoy taking your classes. And so what I did is I created a system and I started just outreaching to people, hundreds of studios a month, and I sent them cold emails. And I was like, hey, I was recently on So You Think You Can Dance. Here's some videos and clips of me dancing. I'd love to create a So You Think You Can Dance experience for your students, because a lot of them never have the opportunity and the chance to actually participate and audition in the show. And so I created this master class, and I taught 3 age groups, ages 5 to 8, 9 to 12, 13 and up. And towards the end of it, I was making around $1,000 an hour just teaching dance classes. And yeah, that was cool, man. It's really cool.
That's incredible. What an opportunity to make some money and do the thing that you love and then travel the world because of it. So what a perfect business to kind of spread your wings, if you will. And I know that that's kind of a big deal for you. You got out of your comfort zone in doing that, right? Because as a kid, well, I've got to imagine first and foremost, as a kid born in South Korea, there are probably not a lot of other South Koreans in Des Moines, Iowa, right? In the smack dab middle of the U.S. I think the coasts experience a lot more diversity from that standpoint. And so I've got to imagine there probably weren't a whole lot of other people that maybe looked like you. And
Right.
I'd love to hear just kind of your experience there.
Yeah, so I was adopted. My sister's adopted also. She's from India. I'm from South Korea. And so we grew up, smack dab in the middle of Iowa, right? Just like the real, like, the little small suburbs, right? So very small school. And I was basically the only like Asian kid at my high school. So, growing up for me, I had all white friends, and wasn't really exposed to the Korean culture, right? Never went to the big city at that time. I didn't have my first Korean food until I actually moved to Korea and I found my birth mother in 2010.
Wow.
So, I didn't grow up with it. And so I think always inside I had an adventurous spirit, and I always wanted to travel the world. I always wanted to teach dance and all these different countries. I wanted to find my birth mother and reconnect with her and learn about my roots and my culture. And so I always had this adventurous spirit, but at that time, you're right, like, growing up for me was hard because, one, I looked different. Two, I had this speech impediment, right? Like, it's really hard for Asians and Koreans to say the letter R. And so I was teased a lot growing up. So I didn't have a lot of friends. I literally just never said the letter R until I was like in my 20s. I know it sounds silly, but, those little things kind of held me back. And it was, my speech therapist was like, I was like 6 at the time. She was like, Zach, if you quit my classes, you'll never be able to say the letter R. No one will be able to understand you, and you probably won't amount to much. And I was a little kid, and I heard all of this, and it kind of crushed my spirit, crushed my dreams, until I eventually found my voice through dance, and that changed my life. So it wasn't easy, but I'm very grateful for my parents, my family, for bringing me up and raising me in Iowa. Like, they're awesome. They're some of the best people I know, and I've traveled the world. And I think it's, helped me become the person that I am today.
Yeah, it is devastating for me to think about, because I've got a 10-year-old daughter, like any kid being teased for anything, let alone something that they just can't help, like something that's just, I know kids can be ruthless, but that is heartbreaking to think something as ridiculous as the speech impediment can garner that. And I've got to imagine, you know, that is a confidence killer. And so I think it's so amazing that you found dance, because that had to be such a big boost, and to make it to the top 100 and like all these things that are building it along the way. And by the way, today you would never know that you had a speech impediment, but I actually love the adversity that you went through, kind of mastering that and overcoming and achieving. That's powerful.
Yeah, and I think what it is like when a lot of the times when we try too hard, we mess things up. And so when I just simply like just relaxed a little bit and just spoke naturally and just normally, and I wasn't trying so hard to like do what my speech therapist said, it just went away. And I think that's a lot of things in life, right? It's like we're afraid of messing up, looking bad. We're afraid of like getting out of our comfort zone and just dancing. And you know, it's hard for us, a lot of people, to put yourself out there. But I think that's what really helped me grow my business. Was I wasn't waiting for people to knock on my doors and say, Zach, like, you know, I'd love for you to come and teach a dance workshop, or I'd love to use your, like, you know, your social media services now. It was me doing a lot of outreach and creating a very interesting email to pique their interest and to get them excited and to get them on a phone call. And that's really what helped me.
And then you took that and you gave a TEDx speech, right? So like you went from speech impediment, not a lot of confidence in speaking, avoiding certain words for, you know, a decade plus of your life, you know, a couple decades of your life, and you go to give a TEDx speech. I mean, that's incredible. So I love that. I love that you were able to overcome, and I've got to imagine that had to give you a lot of confidence in kind of building these different entrepreneurial enterprises that you've built. And I'd love to just kind of figure out how you got to the place that you became this like social media influencer trainer, but not just for people, which, I mean, you've coached a lot of people, but for like big name brands like the Four Seasons, the Ritz-Carlton, the Viceroy, like big organizations that you're working with, coaching, teaching. Tell us about that and how you got there and what that business has become today.
Yeah, so I mean, just, you know, the backstory, the same kid who got me into dancing got me into Instagram. And so when I hurt my back in India 2016 and I was rushed to the hospital and the doctor came in and was like, I don't think you're going to be able to dance anymore, I was like, dang, okay, so what do I do now? I didn't have a plan B at that time because I thought I was invincible. I thought I was Superman. And so when I heard that news, everything came crashing down and I was crushed and I was depressed and I didn't know what to do. So the same guy who I went to high school with was like, Zach, listen, you got to get on Instagram, like social media, like it's amazing. You know, we're growing accounts, thousands of followers a day. This was like 2015, 16. And I just went in and I bought like a 400,000 follower account in the comedy niche meme space. So we started growing comedians, like even, you know, they don't even know it, but we're growing like famous people like Dave Chappelle and like all these guys, right? And so then we rinsed and repeated the process, and then I started buying more assets, more accounts in different spaces like the travel niche and luxury and fashion and beauty and motivation. And, you know, collectively now we have a network of over 200 million followers. And so we're working with these really big brands, like all those names that you mentioned, a lot of luxury, hotel, a lot of hospitality groups, a lot of individuals as well, you know, just, you know, like that are pretty famous thought leaders, and helping them grow bigger on social media. So that's really what we do, is we help individuals and brands grow bigger online and help them get seen, known, and heard everywhere, like online through our social media network. So we create them content. We help that content go viral with our network. We get an army of influencers and affiliates to promote their products and services, which makes them money. And so really with great content comes more growth, and with really like an army of people singing, shouting your praises comes more money. So that's what we're doing.
I love it. And by the way, you've been able to like kind of even hack it further. So like you've helped people, you know, grow their influence, grow their network, grow their following. But you've also, for your own personal life, in working with these, you know, larger travel groups and boutique, you know, let's call them, some are bigger hospitality groups, some are boutique hospitality groups. I mean, you've been pampered. Like you found some hacks to travel for very inexpensive prices, but at like top-notch places, right? Resorts all across the world.
Yeah, let's talk about that. It's a pretty cool hack, and you know, some of these overwater villas, you know, like 4-bedroom overwater villas with a super slide in the Maldives, you know, like I slide down the slide, like pull out my phone, take a selfie, like, yo, this is how I wake up in the morning, slide down the super slide into the water. And I mean, this hotel like has a retractable roof, so with the press of a button, you like the whole roof opens up. You can see the sky. Like at night, a telescope pops down. You can see the stars. This place is like around $40,000 to $50,000 USD a night in the peak season. So, you know, they became my client in 2018. But you know, before I had all these followers in this big network, like I had to figure out a way to get my foot in the door. And so essentially what I did back then, you know, the early days, 2015, 16, was I made a list of accounts. So I'd reach out to these big accounts and I'd be like, hey, like, you know, I love your content. I love your page. How much do you charge for a shout out? Like a promotion on your page. And a lot of these accounts with millions of followers were ran by kids, you know, teenagers, 15, 16, 17 years old. And so they were quoting me very good prices, like, hey, $50 for a promo, $100 for a shout out on my page. And basically what I did is I tap rooted into their network, and I leveraged their pages and their following. So then I approached these different hotels, and I'm like, hey, I'm Zach. I'm a, you know, social media influencer with a network of, you know, 5 million followers. These are our accounts. So I had my account, and then I had all these other accounts that became my friends and into my network. And I essentially what I did was I just posted my content that I created at these really nice resorts on their pages for the fraction of a price. And that's what kind of got my foot in the door. And then boom, like they started bringing me back. They liked the results, started hiring in my company and using our services. And that's what really helped us take off. It was just giving for free, like creating a win-win, helping them in these pages get what they want to be paid for, and then helping these hotels get more reach, get more exposure.
That's amazing. So, you know, Assistagram is what that business became, right? And it kind of evolved into a one-stop shop for everything, anything, you know, Instagram related, and even beyond that. I know you do other things. I know you know, help people get verified, and which is a really important thing, because I have so many darn people that keep trying to impersonate me on social media. It's driving me crazy.
Right.
Trying to sell crypto to my network and pretending like they're me. So if you ever, to anyone watching or listening, if you ever get some sort of offer from me for crypto or something that sounds a little fishy, it's not me, all right? Someone has created a lookalike account. The name's probably not spelled right or something. I'm seeing this on like all the social media platforms. But part of what you do is you help protect people like me from this happening, right? So like we're working together right now to be able to solve for that, so I can have a verified account, so people know, hey, this unverified Justin Donald, except the Justin has 2 eyes, isn't really me.
Right. I mean, we can do all things like growth hacking related. So, I mean, on all platforms, we have connections to YouTube, to Facebook, you know, Meta, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn as well, right? So it's not just Instagram anymore, but like, yeah, I mean, first thing is your name is your most important asset, right? So like having your own name, like at Justin Donald or like at like mine's like at Luxury Hotels or Best Hotels, all these different pages, that really is important. And the second thing is um, verification, right? Because that's like street cred, like your credibility, your reputation on social media. So when you do have that blue dot, that blue check next to your name, it holds a lot of weight, and unlocks a lot of benefits as well. Like as far as like when you post on the platform as well, you get more reach and exposure. But it definitely helps having that so that you can protect yourself and also protect your people from all these crazy internet scams nowadays.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I know that you have worked with a lot of big names in this space and you've helped them get verified. And, I remember when I talked to you at first, I'm like, I don't really feel like I have a need for this, Zach, because social media is not really my market. That's not where my typical, customer is going to come from. But what I'm seeing is it doesn't actually matter if that's your target market or not. If there are people impersonating you, that creates it can create like a bad reputation, even though it's not you, even though you're not doing anything, and you got to work hard just to kind of protect that, right?
Right, exactly. And it's also very important to just simply be on social media nowadays because I mean, yeah, I like listening to I love podcasts. I love listening to live presentations and attending masterminds in person. Those are some of my favorite things. But then it's a great way to just simply stay connected with the people and give them content to consume and to actually just simply show them your lifestyle because that's what they're interested in, is like seeing the behind the scenes, seeing how you really live and arrange their lives, and what you do is fun for people. So I'm totally with you. It's the times have changed, but yeah, I mean it's a good thing. It can be a good thing too.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, with all things,
Yeah,
for the most part, there are pros and cons, right?
yeah,
I
exactly.
try to get out of the space of like um, that something is absolutely good or absolutely bad. I actually think that with virtually all things or most things, it's not that something is good or bad. It's kind of even like decisions that you make. It's not that making decision A is better than decision B. It's that decision A has this list of pros and cons, and decision B has this
Yeah.
different list of pros and cons. And we've got to solve for like what maybe is better in that moment, in that season of life for you right then. And you may not get to decision C unless you embark on decision A or B, right? Like you open up more opportunities once you do that. So that's kind of what I've noticed in my life, and not just from a social media standpoint. I'm just meaning holistically on, decisions to improve life, decisions to improve health, to improve wealth, to improve, knowledge, whatever it is.
I like that. I love that.
So you talk a lot about how to grow your reach and how to harness social media. And you recently launched a book, a brand new book. And I'm so excited about this because I remember talking about this like way long ago when this was in
Yes.
like the idea stage, right? There were no words written down. I mean, you and I both, we hung out, and I remember even telling you, like, I've been thinking about writing a book and maybe I'll write it. And I never thought that, lifestyle investor would become what it has become. Like, I'm very, sometimes I got to pinch myself because I'm very, like, surprised, flattered, blown away with the success of the book. And, and it was really because I, like, made the decision to put myself out there, and it's
Yes.
tough because it's easy to kind of like hide in the shadows, and you put yourself out there, you're going to get some rejection, you're going to get some critics, you're going to get some people that want to tell you why they're better than you, and so like you just have to know that in doing this and being vulnerable and opening up and putting yourself out there, you're going to have people that are very appreciative and are going to sing your praises. You're going to have people that are going to be very tough critics of you. And so I love that you've been able to do this, and your book is cleverly titled Reach. So talk to me about the book and the process and what it's about.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. It's been a long process, long thing in the works. I think 3 years. We've been working on it, just trying to get it right. So, Reach is launching like next week, so end of March, right? So we're gonna be out soon, and it's really how to connect with anyone, right? Learning how to become a super connector, building your network, so that which also multiplies your net worth, helping grow your reach and audience and your influence, and building a lifestyle business, really. And I kind of break down like all of the strategies and hacks that I've used to grow millions of followers, to help people that had 0 followers and now they have over 50 million followers on all their platforms. So we share stories like that, as well as just some travel hacks to become like a destination influencer and do more of what you love, whatever that is. And you and me both, Justin, it's travel. For other people, it could be something different, but I talk about all those different things in the book, and some tactical strategies on how to grow your social media, how to grow your network, grow your reach, and just live the life that you want to live, and do the things that you want to do when you want, with whoever you want. I think, to me, that's what life is all about. It's exploring the world and doing epic things with the people that you love and you care about the most.
Hey, I couldn't agree more, Zach, on this. And what a powerful message. And this is, my goal is that I can help share this same idea, the same message, the same, stance on life with, my network, my audience, my community, just whoever will listen, because it is such a powerful way to live life. It's when you can live on purpose and you can live with intentionality, meaning you're not going through life on autopilot. You're not just responding to what's happening. Like, you're taking the time to be intentional and thoughtful and say proactively, what would a great life look like? Like in a year from now, what would it look like? In 5 years from now, what would it look like? What are some steps that I can do today to get there? And to even have an idea of, like, to me, what's an ideal life? Like, to you, what's an ideal life? Putting that time in is priceless. To just dream and to just, like, explore what could be. I mean, that to me is one of the best exercises I've ever done. And then I've also got to say, like, one of the most therapeutic things I've ever done is actually write the book. Like, you and I are speaking on a similar topic. I feel compelled to share this idea, this way of living with other people. And it was very therapeutic to actually put it on paper and to write it out and to think through it. And I felt like before I could, like, put this, finished product out, I had to really go through all the things that I had done before to get to where I was, but just to make sure I'm still living that same, I guess, ideology today as I was to get me to where I am to write it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I 100% agree, and man, I'm excited. I'm really excited, and to see all that you've done and achieved with your book and your network and building up your masterminds and just influencing and changing so many lives. It's been inspiring to watch and see. So, man, mad respect for you and everything that you're doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I can tell you straight up, I had no clue if people were actually going to buy my book. I knew my family would. I knew I had some friends that would. And then beyond that, I was like, I don't know. I hope some other people do. So, to hit the #1 Wall Street Journal bestseller, like, that was like, I could have never dreamed of that. USA Today bestseller, Amazon bestseller, all that. And I hope and wish that for you, because it just is a very fulfilling feeling and experience to know that other people value the information, the content that you hold dear, that they also hold it dear, right? And I'm very proud to say today, The Lifestyle Investor is the top 1% of all books sold, period. Yeah, and I could have never in a million years guessed it, but I'm even more proud to say that all the profits of that book go to charity. Specifically, 100% of the proceeds have gone to fight human trafficking in over 30 different countries around the world. And so because there was like this, people resonated with this message that it really was a good fit for them. We've now been able to donate hundreds of thousands of dollars on behalf of people that don't even have their human freedom that they should be granted, just as a natural byproduct of being human.
I love that. I love that, man. How you're giving back and raised so much money and helping so many people. You know, that's at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, right? Like the book is a tool to just help us reach more people, do more good, and spread our message, and hopefully something, you know, sticks, and something that we say and write like helps someone. But I love how you're giving back too, and that's, you know, what I want to do with mine as well, right? So we're going to be supporting refugees. So we're going to be donating 100% proceeds to World Relief, a resettlement agency that helps refugees relocate and transition to America. I personally volunteered with the organization for 1 year in 2009, lived on $2 a day for food, lived among refugees just like they did. And it really changed my life and taught me a lot of key things in life. And so I want to do that with my new book, Reach. So yeah, I love what you're doing. So, you know,
that is powerful.
Keep it up. Yeah.
Well, I love that you also see a bigger picture of like the meaning and the impact that you have. So your book, the content can change people's lives, but the reach, no pun intended, the reach of your book, Reach, right? The reach is tremendous because it's not just about the lives that you can impact from the content, but you actually can create change from, you know, the capital that comes from it. And this is like real change. These are real people's lives. And, you know, to anyone who's listening to this podcast and to anyone who's watching this on, you know, your computer, none of us will ever truly understand, or very few of us will truly ever understand what it's like for some of the people around the globe that have some of the harshest circumstances. I mean, just unimaginable things. So I honor you in that, and I'm so excited for what you're building. Where can my audience learn more about you? Like, where can we find you online?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd love to stay connected with all of you. And, you know, if you're interested in learning more about my book, you can just simply go to buyzachsbook.com. Assistagram.com is my social media growth monetization agency. And yeah, you can find me, Zach Benson, anywhere. Just simply type my name. I'm at Luxury Hotels on Instagram, Zach Benson on Facebook. But yeah, I'd love to hear your stories. Would love to connect and help support you anyway. Justin's a great friend. He's awesome, doing amazing things. So any friend of Justin's is a friend of mine, and would love to connect.
Well, thank you. And this has been such a fun episode. I'm so glad that we were able to make this work.
Yes.
I mean, it's...
By the way, one thing, yeah, and also for your people, right? Because you're Justin Donald, man, and got a lot of love for you. Like, if you really want to, you know, learn more about social media growth hacking, I just want to give this gift away. It's usually only for new clients and people that we onboard, but I'm happy to give you this very detailed, like, really awesome PDF growth hacking guide of 2023 tips and strategies to grow your social media for free. So, yeah.
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
you're the best. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Always love our time. I can't wait till we hang again in person. I mean, we did get a chance to meet
Oh,
up
yeah.
at F1 in Monaco last year. We didn't even talk about that. I mean, epic experiences. We both got a chance to literally be in the presence of the king, LeBron James, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. We hung out at the Paris hotel, which was just incredible. Man, that the casino there that they filmed Casino Royale at is just such a killer place. And that race, unbelievable. I mean, it really does bring in the who's who. That was an epic trip, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start going to all of them. Like, I mean, every year, like they have them, and I think in a couple weeks they have one in Melbourne, Australia, they Abu Dhabi, all over the world. So I can't wait to go back to Monaco. That was an epic trip for sure. Like you said, LeBron James, Leonardo DiCaprio, Serena Williams, Venus Williams were like my neighbors on the yacht next to me, and you just do really meet the really top quality people, famous people. You see them
Oh,
everywhere. It's fun.
yeah, it's so fun just to kind of be in the same space as them. I don't ever want to be a fanboy, so I just always act like people are normal. Like it's
Yeah.
hey, just say hi. Don't try and do the autograph thing or the picture thing. But every now and again I get pictures with some fun people. But as a general rule, I just want to let them be and just say hey and just say hey,
That's
thanks
cool.
for what you do. Well,
That's
hey, our time is always treasured, and I just appreciate connecting and learning the wisdom that you have to offer. And I love ending every episode that I do with asking the listeners and those watching one simple question, and that's this. What is one step that you can take today to move towards financial freedom? However you see that, whatever way you need to, whatever step it is to get you closer to really living a life that you truly desire, a life that's on your terms. It's not by default, but it's by design. What's that step? Take it today, and I can't wait to catch you next week.